Hi, my name's Preston, and I work at Frictionless Commerce as a conversion optimization specialist.
And my name is Rishi. I am the founder of Frictionless Commerce. Started the company 9 years ago, and I work very closely with Preston.
So, another one of the projects that we do for clients is a heuristic review.
Yeah.
So, can you kind of talk about a little bit of what that entails for us?
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you about specifically why a client should even consider doing a heuristic review. You and I have kind of looked at this. You remember you'd done a review of Nike, and
Yes.
we found a bunch of usability issues with it. Um, Here is a website like Nike where they've literally spent millions of dollars building a brand, maybe billions of dollars building a brand. Certainly, a lot of money has gone in for their online presence, and still we found glaring mistakes with their website. There's a couple of things to note here. Number one is that this is completely natural. If any customer spends time looking at our website, they will find tons of mistakes. Blind spots are absolutely natural. When you are looking at the same set of pages on the same website as a marketer every single day, you're just going to start glossing over things that a first time visitor would have immediately come to a screeching halt on. And the other thing is, of course, websites like Nike are constantly evolving. They're constantly changing their underlying architecture. They're changing their merchandising, their product mix, their promos. There are so many things that are happening that it's inconceivable that things won't break as a result of that. So why would a client want to pay us for a heuristic review? Well, simple, because it is because of these blind spots, it is actually impractical for the client to identify these things themselves. We actually bring a bunch of benefits to the table. The first one is that we are looking at it with a fresh pair of eyes. So we are literally seeing it like your potential customer sees it. And therefore, we're able to identify very quickly things that that would be a problem for the user. The other thing is to keep in mind as well is that we've spent years doing deconstruction. Deconstruction by nature is a skill that helps us really hone in our observation on problems. And so deconstruction is doing a heuristic review is a byproduct of the deconstruction we're doing anyway, right? So we're actually very good at identifying things very quickly, more effectively than anyone else could, by doing a heuristic review. The third reason why a heuristic review makes so much sense for the client is that we are actually systematically walking through the entire mobile and desktop website. And so what the client gets is one cohesive document with exhaustive list of observations that we've made for both the websites. Now the client can simply shortlist from that. They can either kind of comment out the ones that they don't like, or there may be some technical reasons why some of those can't be done. Because we're not just looking at glitches, we're also doing usability reviews, right? So we typically will, when we complete a heuristic review for a client, we typically present, 40 or 50 observations. Certainly not we don't guarantee how many we'll find. We don't know what we'll find, but typically it's a pretty sizable chunk, and the client can then pay us obviously for our time, but then go to their developer and say, okay, here's a list, and in one shot it's way more effective for the developer to get one list and work through all of those observations, as opposed to us kind of randomly noticing something, emailing the developer, stopping them from doing their work, and then after 2 weeks emailing something else. The other thing is, of course, we're also looking at the mobile experience and the desktop. So we're not just saying, here are all the observations for the mobile website. We're saying we've looked at mobile and desktop, and here's everything we found. And we literally try to walk in the footsteps of a first-time buyer. So we create an account, we start the checkout process, we look at it on our phone, we kind of create favorites, we do, everything that a user would potentially do. We try to literally behave like a user would if they are new to that website. So I think it's extremely valuable, and it's a one-time process, and clients get tremendous value. A lot of our customers actually have us do heuristic reviews every 6 months or every 1 year, because lots changes in their website during that time. So getting a fresh pair of eyes to look at that same set of problems is really valuable. But a client can certainly do it for just one time as well, and that's fine with us too.
Yeah. We also look at both for the website for both Mac users as well as PC users. And
That is correct.
iPhone, Samsung.
That's exactly right. So we're not looking at, we don't have 15 cell phones. We're not looking at 15 different things. That's not the objective. But what we're trying to do is we identify from analytics, what are most people using people are using Macs and Windows machines, they're using Android devices and iPhones. That covers the bulk of it. So yes, we certainly consider those things. And and this is the other important detail. I think this is something we should also mention, is that there are two things. One is that we're not just putting together a list of 50 kind of observations, dumping them in a document and saying, here, deal with it. First of all, they've been prioritized based on importance. They've been divided based by glitches, by usability, by device, the mobile desktop. We put together an overview video, so we literally are walking through the whole document so that the client can understand the context. We link to every page where the issue is, so it's not just like we notice this issue on product page XYZ. We link to it. We are creating animated GIFs so that we can reproduce the issue. So that we're not telling the client that we noticed this issue on this page, and the client goes there and says, I don't know exactly what the issue was. It's not just written; it's actually animated. So our objective, we're actually applying thoughtfulness tactics